the penultimate weekend of the Conference USA regular season, and the stakes are high as teams jockey for seeding or to earn their way into the upcoming CUSA tournament. Tonight, the Western Kentucky Lady Toppers come to the Bob Carpenter Center in desperate need of wins, while the University of Delaware Fighting Blue Hens return to the first state, looking to regroup after an injury-riddled 0-2 trip to Miami and Missouri. And hi, everybody. I'm Matt Jennings alongside the point guard, Christine Coromata. Christine, it was a rough trip, to say the least, for Delaware. They look to build some momentum upon their return home. Meanwhile, for Western Kentucky, they're basically in must-win mode at this point.
Well, both of these teams still have some work to do. Western Kentucky is one game out of the conference tournament with 4 left to play, and Delaware's trying to hold strong and get back up to 500. This is an important game as we go down to the home stretch in the regular season.
Well, this Delaware team is down to just 8 available players, but one they are awful happy to have access to. That's Trinity Vance.
Well, Trinity Vance loves to let it fly. One of the purest shooters on the floor, she can really stretch a defense. With deep range and a confident release, Vance can change the momentum in a game. Defenders have got to pick her up early, and that opens everything else up for Delaware. She can launch a catch-and-shoot 3 or pull up in transition. For Delaware, her range isn't just a weapon, it's a game changer. Last time these two teams met, Delaware came out on top, and she was Delaware's leading scorer with 20 points, showing off her shooting ability, including that deep range. And it really stretched the Lady Toppers' defense. Her shooting helped Delaware build and maintain a lead, and her performance was a big reason that the Blue Hens walked away with the road victory in that first conference matchup. The Hens will need a big night from her since they are shorthanded.
They are indeed. Meanwhile, the other side, Lady Toppers sophomore Salma Kadir has really turned it on in the season's second half.
Well, when Western Kentucky needs a bucket, Kadir is the one they look to. The sophomore guard from Egypt has emerged as the Ladies Toppers' top scorer. She has led the team multiple times this season with double-figure nights and shows off a versatile offensive game that can fill it up from all over the floor. She's battled through a tough conference play, pouring in big points, including a 20-point outing in the win over Middle Tennessee. She just seems to make plays when her team needs it. She can absorb contact and get to the line. In her last 2 games, she's gotten to the line 11 times and knocked down all of her free throws. Kadir's confidence scoring and her demeanor on the court make her a constant threat in a matchup Western Kentucky relies on night in and night out.
Kadir and the Lady Toppers vie for a 3rd consecutive victory. Meanwhile, Delaware looks to end a 3-game skid. We get started next.
Run faster, run farther, and recover to run more days. We are here to help your fitness goals. Marathon helps me in the 4th quarter. Use UD promo code 26 to get 26% off.
Back at the Bob Carpenter Center in Newark, getting set for the start of this critical weekend in Conference USA. Delaware squaring off against Western Kentucky. You can see the Blue Hens in their black jerseys today. It is a blackout promotion here at the Bob Carpenter Center, as Western Kentucky will be in the alternate gray jerseys, but it is Unity Day here at the Bob, coming together to celebrate community inclusion and Blue Hen pride. You see this Delaware team that's looking to end a 3-game skid, 12-15 overall, 6-9 on the season, being introduced to the faithful here at the Bob. And meanwhile, Western Kentucky 7-18 overall, 3-11 in conference play. See, Greg Collins, he's in his 8th season in charge, his 14th overall at the program. 6 seasons on the Western Kentucky staff as an assistant, was promoted to head coach March of 2018. Last year, he won a career-high 23 games, his second 20-plus win season. 4th time, he has won 18 or more contests with the Lady Toppers. And they have won back-to-back games after enduring just a rough stretch. Sarah Jenkins' team in the midst of a rough stretch right now. You can see her giving hugs to her group. They're kind of relying on the culture they have inside this program to overcome some big injury concerns. A lot of bodies out of the lineup tonight for Delaware.
Yeah, and it's come in waves throughout the season. So they've had to do this before, where they've been able to, rail off a few wins and get that momentum, and that's what they're trying to do here tonight.
3-game games remaining, including this one in the season for Delaware. Meanwhile, Western Kentucky, they have 2 this weekend, 2 next weekend. And as we said at the top, every game so important for the Lady Toppers if they want to make the CUSA tournament. Meanwhile, Delaware, they haven't secured their spot yet, but in really good position at 6-9 in conference play. Just about set to get started here at the Bob in Newark, Delaware and Western Kentucky. And we start, it'll be the Lady Toppers with the basketball.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what defenses the Blue Hens mix up here tonight, coming out in that zone to start.
Little miscommunication here from Western Kentucky as they try to get organized against that matchup zone. Good skip pass. James passing up the 3, instead getting it back. And an easy layup to begin things.
Yeah, good look there by Kadur, getting it to her in the high post, but as she cut, nice bounce pass, not trying to force it in.
Starting lineups brought to you by Christiana Care for the love of health. Kyla Correa, the point guard. Remember, no Safi Kalibo. She was injured 2 weekends ago. Missed the entire trip to Missouri and Miami for this Delaware team. On the drive, Van Troy can't hit the runner. Charizier, the offensive board, got stuck inside, hit the bottom of the backboard, somehow got it back, and got the foul as she stuck with it.
It kind of caught in no man's land, was trying to get by, but good job by Western Kentucky of getting the heel to the baseline there and staying up strong. But as soon as Charizier was able to get it back, just going right back at the rim and drawing that foul, we've seen her get to the free throw line a lot more in the second half of the conference season.
Glass half full, half empty situation for Charizier, who knocks down the first free throw. She did not play well last weekend. Really struggled in terms of just staying on the floor. Foul trouble plagued her, and then wasn't a factor offensively or on the glass. But last time Delaware played, the combination of Western Kentucky, Middle Tennessee, who they'll see this weekend, she was named Conference USA Player of the Week. She dominated on the road at both those teams.
Yeah, it was a really good road trip for the Hens, and they feel confident coming into this game, and this is one that you want to be able to get at home.
Average 18 points, 11 rebounds per contest in those 2 wins. Open 3. Kadur picking up right where she left off last week against Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, she can do a little bit of everything. You saw her facilitating on that first possession, and then she can knock down that 3. Got to get your heels above that arc.
Sophomore from Egypt. First year as a starter. Wanzer firing up the 3 and rattling it home for Delaware.
It's always a great sign for the Hens when Ella Wanzer gets going early. When she can knock one down, then you force that closeout and it opens up the middle for the bigs.
So both teams trying to build some confidence offensively. The shooting has been hit or miss for both this season. Mid-range jumper off the mark from Telegny, and the rebound goes to Delaware.
Yeah, the Hens are going to have to be careful about that high post area. But 2 times now that the ball's gotten there, they've gotten good shots.
Charizier in the short corner. That's where she wore Western Kentucky out of the first matchup, unable to convert. And here come the Lady Toppers the other way. Kadur off the head fake, couldn't use the window, and Van Troy the board. Correa darting past 2 defenders. Wanzer was calling for it, but a good closeout had it knocked away from behind. Kadur unselfishly giving it to Schelling for the layup.
It looks like Ella Wanzer either got hit something with her left shoulder. She grabbed it right away, and not really sure what happened there, but she's wincing.
How Kadur gave that up? She was behind the defense. That could have been an uncontested layup, but she saw Schelling a little further along, so she gave it to him.
Well, you already see her unselfishness. That's 2 assists already for her.
Lady Toppers up a deuce. Delaware the basketball. 2:50 into the contest. Correa showing the assortment of moves. Can't scoop it home. And a long rebound ricochets to Schelling. Schelling daring Delaware to stop ball. They finally do. James downhill and drawing the foul. His body's hitting the deck all over the place.
Western Kentucky, you're definitely going to see them push the ball when they can. Delaware with a short bench here tonight, and Western Kentucky wants to get some tired legs on the Hens.
So this is Tori James, the Clarksville, Tennessee native, who will go to the line. You can see a big crevice of space she was able to take advantage of as she misses her first free throw. Let's take a look at our keys to success, brought to you by Easter Seals, serving all ages and all abilities throughout Delaware.
Well, for Western Kentucky, they want to get those extra opportunities on the offensive end, and if they're getting to the line, that means they're being aggressive, and we've already seen them get there. But for Delaware, they have got to limit their fouls. They cannot get into foul trouble. They don't have a deep enough bench, and they need to control the tempo in the way they might need to slow this game down a little bit with limited players.
I'll tell that delay. Fantroy was pedal to the metal there, was able to draw the foul on her way to the basket, and that's number 2 against Tia Schelling, and that's a big development. Schelling had a fantastic game last week against Middle Tennessee, and now she heads to the sideline early.
But it shows the aggressiveness of Delaware, really trying to get to the rim. They're trying to cut through the middle of that defense, and nobody does it better than Leigh Fantroy. The way she's able to gather and get her footwork down, come to a jump stop, and even pump fake and draw those fouls.
Foul trouble has been an issue this season for Western Kentucky. In fact, in that win against the Blue Raiders, Kader picked up 3 first-half fouls. Was still able to overcome it to score 20, but it's something the coaching staff has been lamenting after games all year long. Got a guard without fouling. And then, not on the same page as running away was Kader. Great hustle play from Rowe to make it right. Kader, though, turns it over. Vance getting the steal, racing the other direction for the layup.
Good job of Trinity Vance to handle that basketball. Tried to kind of dribble it before picking it up, and wasn't sure she was going to be able to handle it, but went right ahead of everybody and got the finish.
Western Kentucky's got to lock in. A little off kilter in terms of everybody being on the same page in the early going. Rowe looking to create through 2 defenders. Pratchett down the center of the lane, and the ball movement continues for Western Kentucky. 5 to shoot. Rowe sees it. Gives it back to Pratchett. The fadeaway comes up short. Cherizier doubled on the rebound, but a good job by Correa to come to her.
Western Kentucky was moving the ball, but they weren't moving off ball. Very stagnant on the offensive end, kind of assessing the defense and moving the ball, but not cutting.
Correa dared to shoot. She does. Short with it. The long rebound chased down by Teleki. The Western Kentucky team has really struggled this year defensively. Christine, consequently, they have played at a slower tempo than in seasons past. Turnovers have really hurt their defense as the scoop from Kader. Beautifully done with the left hand.
Yeah, she was looking for the foul, but I thought that was pretty good defense, but she took some contact, but the finish, what a great finish by Kader.
Tied again, just about halfway through this opening quarter. Awkward ankle feed. Great catch, Correa, and able to finish at the rim.
Yeah, Correa trying to lead her to the basket. Might have been a little wide, but Shaq saying, I'll take care of the rest.
Look at Kader, the up and under, couldn't finish. Offensive board, James kicks it out to Rowe, who knocks down the 3.
The pace of this game feels like it's really sped up here in the last few possessions.
And Western Kentucky back in front. Already 3 lead changes in this opening quarter. Here the Delaware bench asking for the Blue Hens to move a little offensively. Cherizier in the high post wants to go to work against Telegi and does.
And the Hens like that. They were kind of in almost a 4 out, 1 in, letting Cherizier go to work. But even when you're kind of keeping that spacing, you want to still move off ball. Make the defense move. Make them have to react on both ends of the floor. Same thing for Western Kentucky. When they're cutting, they're doing a better job of getting to the rim.
Rowe going to fire up another, this time in and out. Fantroy able to grab the rebound off the second bounce. Correa trying to push. Fantroy, the extra feed to Vance, who leaves it inside. Cherizier wasn't ready, still got the whistle. And he'll head to the free throw line for a pair. Both teams making their presence felt from the perimeter in the early going. Ella Wanzer knocking down the triple as Delaware up a point.
When it comes to the health of you and your family, you want to trust in having the best part.
Standings, 2 weekends to go. Delaware enters play at 6 and 9. Western Kentucky is in last place at 3 and 11, but trending in the right direction. If the Lady Toppers get this one, they are very much alive to work their their way into the CUSA tournament. Remember, the bottom 2 teams do not qualify.
A lot can happen in the last few games in the conference leading to that conference tournament. Some teams get hot, some teams falter, and Delaware has to be very careful. They need to at least get 1 or 2 of these games, at least to secure that spot, but they're trying to get back to 500. If they can win out, get even, get back to where they want to be, they might even be able to creep up a little bit.
And remember, UTEP and New Mexico State, who are both above Western Kentucky in the standings, they have a really tough final weekend. They have to play in succession games against Louisiana Tech and Sam Houston. So it's going to be tough for either of those teams to get a win, which is why, even though it doesn't look great where Western Kentucky resides right now, they are still very much within striking distance as we go back to that last play from the Blue Hens.
Yeah, what a pass that was by Trinity Vance, the no-look pass. And Trezier, had enough of an awareness to at least catch that ball and quickly get it up. Thought that was pretty aware of her.
It was. She was certainly not expecting that. And here comes the Lady Toppers down by 3 against this zone. Stepping back, Kadur. She has already made 1 3 in this contest. Sharp ball movement as we have seen in this early going. Kadur loves the up and under, but again can't finish. Van Troy able to secure the rebound and start the break.
Anytime the Lady Toppers have been able to get that ball into the high post, good things have been happening. Been able to get good shots off.
Such an Achilles for the zone. Delaware, for the most part, has done a pretty good job denying it this year. Van Troy missing, but getting it back herself. Correa got it blocked. Kadur able to save it, but then as it came back, it caught her on the way out of bounds, so it'll stay with Delaware.
That was a heck of a block by Kadur. I really thought she was going to make contact, and you see when Correa kind of ducks, Kadur times it really well and just got all ball there.
And I beg your pardon, that was actually Telegny who had to go off her fingertips all the way out of bounds. She will get a breather, and Tatum Betcher in for the first time for Western Kentucky. Charisier in and out for the foul line, but you feel like if you're Delaware getting that shot from Shaq that open, you can live with that all night.
Well, and that's what the defense gave her. The defense stepped up, so she saw that, stopped on a dime, and shot and pop. That's what you want.
Betcher, the junior out of Kansas, around the perimeter. Into the corner, another 3 for Kadur. Barely even hit the net all the way through. That was so pure.
Yeah, her 2 3-point shots so far, I don't think either of them hit the rim, and she doesn't need a lot of room. She gets that shot off. She shoots it a little bit low, but the rotation is great.
Tied again. Dangerous pass. Good catch from Van Troy. Skip feed to Vance. She's going to step back and can't answer the 3. Hustle play, though. Charisier able to secure the offensive board.
Starting to see Trinity Vance get her feet back a little bit, able to cut a little bit better with the ball.
And now inside, Charisier, awkward footwork. Western Kentucky was looking for a walk. Charisier, meanwhile, gets her own miss, but can't finish. And this time, the board to Pratchett.
And it didn't feel like she was able to square up to the basket. Was trying to get the ball up, but never had her shoulders square.
Tied 8 minutes into this contest. Opening quarter. And his pivotal Conference USA game, and another 3 this time, Trinity Rowe.
And that's what happens when you're able to get the ball into the high post. You're able to get to the rim a little bit. It opens up that perimeter against the zone. And you see Western Kentucky, they have really good spacing, and they have multiple players outside the 3-point line.
And Rowe, by far their most dangerous perimeter threat, is Correa missing on the mid-range. But Rowe, 39% three-point shooter. And somebody got to know where she is, although Kadur not bad in her own right. Got 2 defenders in the air, extra feed, and Betcher hitting a 3. Western Kentucky up by 6.
A little bit of a breakdown there for the Hens. They had multiple players closing out on one shooter.
9-0 Lady Topper run, all courtesy of the 3-point shot. And the active hands of Kadur knocking that to the sideline. Wands are going to return for Delaware. Vance will get a breather.
It's important for Delaware to come up with something here. They got to stop the bleeding a little bit.
Scoring droughts have really hurt the Blue Hens, and they're in the midst of another, closing in on 3 minutes without a point. Van Troy lobbing inside. Good job by Charisier to go get it. Wanzer left open, misses the 3. Perry, hustle play, able to save it off a Lady Topper. It'll stay with Delaware, 20 to shoot.
And those are the types of things that Jaya Perry brings to this squad. She does a lot of little things for her team that don't always show up on the stat book, but that hustle play right there helped her team secure that possession.
And then darting down the lane for an and one, Jaya Perry.
Perry saying, okay, that might not have went in the stat book, but I'm going to do something that does go in the stat book. What a play, back-to-back hustle plays by Perry. Watch how she just notices where the defense is and then takes that contact, but most importantly, finishes.
Betcher got stuck with her back to the inbounder. Never a situation where you want to be, and Jaya Perry able to take advantage and end that 9-0 run. Perry, opportunistic, best way to describe her. It really is, come on, you liked her play second half of this season.
Well, it's the hustle plays, it's the little things, it's the controllables, and that's what she does. But then she does something like that where she's able to contribute also on the offensive end, and her defense, she's been great in team rotation.
Transfer out of SMU, second season as a Blue Hen. Here's Rowe trying to create out of traffic along the perimeter. They're going to call a foul against Delaware. A lot of options for the official. They're going to give that to Perry or Correa. They're going to actually give it to Cherizier as she was caught for the bump there.
Well, we talked about the keys to the game, that for Delaware they needed to limit fouls, and so far so good. That's only the second team foul.
So Cherizier will sit down. Portelaise replacing her. 11-second differential. Shot and game clock. Betcher head faking a three, got Perry in the air, but couldn't do anything with it. Head fake again, gets Delaware to bite, allows the entry, and James is fouled by Portelaise. And he'll head to the line to shoot a pair.
I thought that was really good recognition by Tori James of realizing where Portelaise was on her back. She wanted to turn to the inside, but once she realized, she kind of absorbed the kind of walk. Look at what she does here. She sees Portelaise and says, okay, I'm going to spin this way. That's taught. When we say do what the defense gives you, that's what we mean.
James, 69% free throw shooter. First year starter. Appeared in just 10 games a season ago. Used every part of the rim to get that one to fall. Has scored a double figures 2 of the last 3 contests. It had been weeks since she had done that before the Kennesaw State game. So good to see her start to come back into her own offensively. That's what Western Kentucky needs. It's been a struggle at times on the offensive end. 5-point game. Keeping the bounce alive. Vance with 8 seconds left of the quarter. They had Perry wide open. Find her a little late. She still elevates. Can't convert. Sticks with it. And that'll take us to the end of the opening period, which saw 5 ties, 4 lead changes, and Delaware down by 5 after 10 minutes. Center walk in, strut out by TGI Fridays, and here it's always Friday by Diamond Chiropractic, the standard of care, and by PNC Bank. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. Had to pick up the pace there a little bit. They're ready to go at the Bob Carpenter Center. Fan Troy to the up and under, and able to finish inside as Delaware scores 4 straight, back within 3.
When we talk about Leigh Fan Troy's patience, that's what we mean. Again, taking what the defense gives her. She sees what she wants to do, gives a little bit of a head fake, but it's the footwork in low in the finish.
And a foul away from the ball. Vance got intertwined as good activity from Tori James. Bree Hutchin up off the sideline. The Delaware assistant coach trying to make sure everybody's in the right spot defensively.
It's been a pretty clean game foul-wise, but also taking care of the basketball. Both teams only with 1 turnover. I know I'm going to regret saying that because I'm probably jinxing them, but a very clean first quarter.
Fouls. All of a sudden, a little concern if you're Delaware. They have been evenly distributed. Correa picking up that one. Her first, 2 in 35 seconds to start the second quarter. 2 free throws coming for Tori James. And remember, Delaware has 8 players healthy, a 9th dressed in case of emergency, but they are really short-handed.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, knowing when to push the basketball, when to take a break, when to use the shot clock, you kind of have to play that chess game a little bit if you're Delaware.
No Safi Kalibo. And, of course, Deanna Johnson, Ava Andrews, and Kendall Scott have all been out for some time. The deflection will keep it with Delaware. 23 to shoot here for the Blue Hens.
And here you see Fantry trying to get the ball to Ella Wanzer, who was wide open in the corner there for a 3.
For back running point. Freshman who was pressed into service after Kendall Scott lost for the year in game number 2. Here's Wanzer wide open, firing with confidence but missing. And a weak side rebound to Pratcher for WKU. Delaware doing a good job getting back in transition, organized here defensively as they go man-to-man.
Yeah, they've been switching up those defenses because, again, I think in that first quarter, Western Kentucky was able to isolate that high post area a little bit.
Telegi called for the walk. The senior out of Budapest, Hungary, gives the basketball back to Delaware. Good closeout from Port Delathe, kind of forcing that hurried move from Zolfi Telegi. Transfer out of Kansas, second season at Western Kentucky. Missed most of off-season program with the Lady Toppers because she was a little busy. She was playing with the Hungarian national team. Pretty cool experience.
Well, I'll be a little busy for a little while, but then I'll catch up with you guys.
Here's Van Troy in the high post, got a little bit of space, takes advantage of it. Good closeout from Dames. Wanzer has to put it on the deck with 5 to shoot. To Cherizier, see it out to Correa, 1 left, just in time, and connect.
I thought that was a great job of Cherizier to flash towards the basketball when her teammate needed her, but then also to quickly move it.
Telegi in and out with a transition triple, and Delaware a chance to draw it even if they hit one from the perimeter.
I don't think Coach Collins wants Kadur on the bench much longer.
Here's waiting at the scores table to check in. Pick and roll. Cherizier, great catch. Out to Van Troy. And she was short with it. The hustle play. Where come from to get that one? And then the skip feed. Wanzer misses another 3. Cherizier spinning to her left. Banks it home.
And that's why you crash the offensive glass. But Leigh Van Troy, I think she might have run a whole lap around the track there. She's going from the corner following her shot, but it's the multiple opportunities for the Hens. That's why they're able to secure some of those shots.
3 straight quick shots from Western Kentucky. Quick whistle on the walk. Vance turnover, giving it back to Western Kentucky, and that'll allow Kadur to come back into this game for the Lady Toppers.
But those offensive boards have been kind for the Hens. They've been working for them. They've been following their shot, getting a body on somebody, and good things are happening.
9-1. They are on top of the offensive rebounding column, and yet down by 1. That's got to be a bit of a concern if you're Delaware. Kadur, couple jab steps, looking to create. Finds Rowe, who goes baseline. Extra feed, Badger off the mark after he hit the first 3, and then a push-off called on Trinity Vance.
Yeah, Vance kind of tossed James there, and Trinity just marching right over to the sideline. She knew she was coming out. She tosses her. Watch what she does here. She tries to get in, doesn't. I mean, she kind of, it's enough of a push, though, from behind, and then Trinity Vance just marches right over to the sideline and waits for her substitute to come in.
They picked up 2 in the span of less than 2 minutes, so the first foul trouble for Delaware. Meanwhile, a 2.5-minute scoreless drought here for Western Kentucky. Telegi will try to end that, can't do it. On the deep 2, and back to Delaware it goes. These are quick jump shots from Western Kentucky.
Well, they shot so well in the first quarter, and then they're getting those open looks, but sometimes, as the game progresses, you need to use those legs a little bit more.
Now at 5 of 9 from three-point range. Van Troy, chance to give Delaware the lead. Picks up her bounce as she got surrounded by defenders. Cherizier had it poked away. Hustle play from Rowe, and then a foul is called as Telegi fell into the legs of Ella Wanzer.
Yeah, Telegi, I felt kind of bailed Delaware out there because I'm not sure if Ella Wanzer was going to be able to get that. And she just kind of takes her out.
And that's one of those ones, Telegi didn't like it. It wasn't a ton of contact, but you have to call it.
Well, she fell on her, and that's what caused her to go out of bounds. So you have to call it, even though it's one of those things. I think if that's in the middle of the floor, maybe not as big of a deal, but when the ball's going out of bounds and it causes it, you have to call it.
Low feed as they try to kick it out to Wanzer. Active hands from Telegi, but Correa, Johnny on the spot for Delaware. No reset on the shot clock. Delaware bench lets the freshman know. She misses. Van Troy can't finish on the follow, and it's West getting the rebound, having it ripped away, and Van Troy plus the foul.
I don't even know what to say about Leigh Van Troy at this point. She follows her shot, runs across the floor. She just does not give up. It's like she's the Energizer Bunny. She just keeps on. Look, there she tries to get the putback. She doesn't get up. Let me get my hands in there. No, you know what? Give me that ball. I deserve that shot. And she just takes it away and draws the foul again. I think she's a little tired. I think she's calling to come out of the game. She has given everything she has.
Callie Rose West just into the contest. Talked about a rude welcoming from Leigh Fantroy, who returns as dirty a three-point play as we have seen all season. And Delaware back in front.
And you see as she's walking towards Coach Sarah Jenkins pumping her fist and showing her approval. That's what this coaching staff loves. That type of hustle gets a lot of praise.
7-0 run for the Blue Hens from 5 down to 2 up. Rowe getting it back along the perimeter. Whips it inside. A gorgeous feed until they able to take advantage.
That's great vision, but great execution. A great pass, giving it to her right where she could just catch and go up.
We're tied again. That is the 6th time we have been tied in this contest. Just over 14 minutes into it. Perry drawing two defenders. Trying to blow past out to Wanzer, who hits another. And Delaware regains the lead.
Great movement without the basketball by Ella Wanzer. She just kept moving, and nobody saw her slip behind.
Kadir thought about looking for the response. Instead, pirouettes, blows past, but again, unable to finish near the rim.
Yeah, Kadir wanted that one back. She made such a great move and wanted that finish.
That was going to be such a pretty highlight. Those are always the most painful. Good leadership here from Correa, poised and getting everybody organized with 13 still on the shot clock. Perry, mid-range jumper, short with it, and the long rebound to Rowe.
Yeah, I think she missed Wanzer. Wanzer was floating down to the corner, and I think she would have had enough room to get her that pass and get the shot up.
Both teams look a little gassed right now. Rowe trying to keep her dribble alive. Kadir driving on Wanzer, spinning back, looking to a wide open Telenge, who's deep with the three, and out of bounds, back to Delaware. So it's been a game of runs, but the thievery of Leigh Fantroy getting it done with to this one halfway through the second quarter. Delaware leading Western Kentucky 30-27. Lady Toppers shooting it pretty well overall. The lead has been switching back and forth, but I think Sharizi really likes this matchup for the Blue Hens.
Well, they've been able to isolate her a little bit inside, but I've been impressed a little bit with her movement off the basketball. What comes to mind first is when she was able to flash to the high post to help Ella Wanzer get out of trouble, but then she saw she didn't have anything and moved it really quickly with the shot clock winding down. So I think she's making really good decisions. And then Leigh Fantroy, what else can you say about her effort? And good things happen when you have a lot of effort.
So the officials checking about that last shot that came near the buzzer for Kyla Correa, whether it came before a potential shot clock violation.
It felt like in real time that it did. It seemed like she had gotten the shot off. I didn't feel like in real time that it was a violation, but they're over there for a little bit, so I'm wondering what's going to happen here.
So a shot clock violation is called. So now instead of a 3-point lead, down to a 1-point advantage. So poor Kyla Correa loses 2 points.
Wow, yeah, and it really didn't feel like that in real time. Usually it's like, oh, she didn't get that shot off. I don't think so, but it seemed like it. Well, not so fast.
Good job by the Western Kentucky staff to ask for the review from our officials, Carla Fountain, Kenya Kirkland, and Christy Watkins-Day. So Delaware ball, now their lead down to 1. This game gets even a little closer. I'm Matt Janis with Christine Corimbata, our entire ESPN Plus crew. We're at the Bob Carpenter Center in Newark. An important game for both of these teams, pivotal for Western Kentucky. If the season ended today, they would not reach the Conference USA tournament. Wanzer with the clock winding down, short on the 3. Another offensive board, this time for Perry. Correa, the pull-up. And Delaware continues to work on the offensive glass, but the steal, and Rowe secures possession for Western Kentucky.
Feels like everybody in the arena wanted Correa to make that shot to make up for the one that got taken away.
Rowe, the high archer, and it's the Lady Toppers back up 1, 8 points now for Trinity Rowe.
Yeah, she's having a great game, and it's not only her shooting, but she's made some great passes here in the first half of this basketball game.
Rowe so happy to return home. Pikeville, Kentucky native coming into the season. She said, I cannot be any more pleased to be playing back in my home state. Just blessed for the opportunity as Wanzer's high pass taken away from County Rose West. And here comes Western Kentucky the other direction. Just over 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Wanzer doing a good job staying in front of West. Rowe so active without the basketball. 8 to shoot. Kader had a big start to this one, driving again, this time on Correa, goes to the fadeaway. And another in and out opportunity for Kader as a basketball back to Delaware.
Yeah, that was a great job by Ella Wanzer. She was giving out a lot of height, and she was able to get in good position and box out against Betcher. Watch here. When you have good position, it doesn't matter if the person behind you is taller. You use that backside and box out.
Create some space, and Wanzer able to do exactly that. Delaware down by 1, token pressure from Western Kentucky. Blue Hens navigate it with ease. The lob, Correa wasn't quite ready. She was able to retrieve it, but then her pass stolen on the ricochet to Kader.
Yeah, that's a shame because that was a great opportunity, and I think Leigh Fantro was trying to give it to her to alley-oop it, and it was a little bit wide.
Collecte left open, can't make Delaware pay. Correa trying to do it the other way on the drive. Kader closing out strong though on Vance. 2:04 left first half. Vance loves to go to her left to that step back instead. Charges forward and hits the teardrop.
And that's why this coaching staff put her back in the game, playing with those 2 fouls, but they need some offense.
1:50 left first half. 3 on the catch and shoot. And Betcher able to give them back to Western Kentucky.
I feel like the Lady Toppers have a really nice mix of when to get to the rim, when to move out the basketball, and then when to let it fly from beyond the arc.
Greg Collins said about his junior Tatum Betcher, she's not always perfect, but her effort is always perfect. And you can coach around all the rest as a takeaway. Kader able to read it, 2-on-1 the other direction. Rowe able to finish.
Yeah, I think she definitely took on some contact. You see her with her palms up. She was like, hey, I finished that through contact and didn't get the call.
I thought Craig got away with one for sure. The lead balloons back to 4. 6th giveaway of this game for the Blue Hens.
But getting back to that effort comment, I mean, if that's not the best compliment you can get, I don't know what is.
Good effort here from Kader, but then a tad too over-aggressive as she reached in on Trinity Vance. Good news for the Lady Toppers. They got a foul again.
Yeah, and that's her second foul, but it's one of those she would want back. It's kind of silly, so close to the midcourt line, and now she's got to make sure she doesn't pick up the third, but actually Coach Collins is going to take her out.
She said after the win last week against Middle Tennessee, when she picked up those 3 first-half fouls, she was just so mad at herself for putting her and her team in that situation. And this time picking up just her second here in the first half. So already in a better spot than she was against Middle Tennessee. 7 to shoot for Fantroy. The pull up. Wow, what a shot from Leigh Fantroy.
Yeah, she just the stop and pop up over the defense. What a great touch.
That was high degree of difficulty for Leigh. Fantroy, the Texas native, the snow that fell here in Delaware. You wouldn't think Texas native would like it, but she was out there playing. She loves the snow all of a sudden. As a 3 off the mark from Collecte, and Delaware's got a chance to hold for 1 to tie or take the lead. Spinning to her left, Vance. There's that step back. Can't convert. And the long rebound to James. 2 seconds to go. Rowe from half court. Buries it. Trinity Rowe all smiles and understandably so as Western Kentucky's up 5. That's her 3rd buzzer beater in the last 2 games.
You know, you see more and more teams working on this at practice, and you're seeing more and more teams be able to hit these shots at the end of quarters and at the end of games.
World.
Well, watch out when she's retired and she's older and she starts going to other games and they pick someone out of the crowd. She's going to look unassuming and she's going to knock down those half-court shots.
They never started the shot clock as we begin the second half. I'm Matt Janis with Christine Coramata. Alongside our ESPN Plus crew, Caleb Pleager, Damian Holiday, Asia Cook, Isabella Costello, Michael Saladino, Anna Hubbard, Becca Corkis, and Emily Brown. Daring the shot for the outside for Schelling. Instead, she steps into a mid-range and will take that. The lead up to 7.
The Lady Toppers have shown some good patience on the offensive end. And they've been able to get a lot of those mid-range jump shots because once they get it into the post, then they use that kind of almost as the center of a wheel, and then they kick it back out.
Largest lead of the game for the Lady Toppers, Cherizier. Beautiful fadeaway. 2 and a run for Delaware.
Yeah, I guess the MVP has really been the high post on both ends of the floor.
Shaq, you give her a little bit of space and time to operate. She can make moves. There's no doubt about it. It's when she gets rushed that things kind of go off the tracks a little bit from time to time. Lob inside, excellent defense. Cherizier doing it on both ends for Delaware.
And Leigh Fantre, as soon as she picked up that ball, Leigh Fantre all over her.
Wanzer missing the 3. Cherizier, another offensive board. And Delaware will reset. Fantroy called for the walk. Sometimes if you just look up, it's going to be called a travel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that call because, you know, you see it a lot in women's basketball. She notices that's not a travel. She kept her left foot down the entire way. You're allowed to use the other foot even as a stutter, as long as you keep one foot as a pivot foot, which she did. That's a bad call.
I mean, wow. Here comes Kader, beautifully done, using the left hand again for the kiss.
And that ends up being a 4-point swing because here, you know, the Hens should have cut it to 3, and instead now you're down 7.
Must-win game for Western Kentucky. They've taken 2 in a row. They're 3-11 now in conference play. Still on the outside looking in, trying to qualify for the CUSA tournament. Delaware, meanwhile, trying to end a 3-game skid, but down 7 at home. Wanzer, wow, using the glass to her right.
And we've seen more of that this second half of the conference season of Ella Wanzer getting to the rim a little bit.
How about this ball movement all the way around the perimeter to Rowe, who whips it inside. But the Seal taking away the shot opportunity. Kader missing the 3, but there's an offensive board. And Talegdi will reset.
Yeah, you definitely have to close out on Kader with your heels above that perimeter.
11 on the shot clock. Kader with a little space on Vance. Up top, they have been daring Schelling to shoot it. She wants to drive. Don't want to leave Talegdi open, but they do, and she makes them pay.
And just got caught sinking a little bit too low and just taking advantage, and she's shown the ability to knock down that shot. She's such a high arc on her outside shot.
So a new largest lead of the game for Western Kentucky, up to an 8-point cushion with 7:07 to go in the third. Cherizier drawing the foul as she got the step on Talegdi, and will head to the stripe for a pair.
Yeah, she did a nice job of recognizing where Talegdi was and getting her on her back. The way she took the dribble. Watch what she does when she receives the basketball. She sees it and she says, you know what, she's on my back, and that's why she went up with that right hand as well to draw that contact.
You know, Cherizier, obviously an undersized big. She's been that her entire career. He has been put even more under the microscope with the move to Conference USA. Front lines are bigger in this league. It's been a work in progress for Shaq. And when we asked Sarah Jenkins, what's the biggest difference when Cherizier plays her best as opposed to when she struggles? And she says it's confidence. When she feels like she's got a matchup, Shaq's taking it to the defense. When she doesn't, she gets timid, and that's where the problems start to creep up.
Yeah, and in some of those games where she was a little bit undersized, and she can get to the free throw line and get some of those points or get her defender into foul trouble, we've seen her explode.
So making a pair to bring Delaware back within 6. Kader, though, left open, and another Western Kentucky 3.
And that's really hard for Delaware because that closeout was a little bit slow. You have to realize who's over there. You got to cheat a little bit. You got to close out with a hand up and a little bit harder than that.
A clinic in terms of the ball movement from Western Kentucky to boot. Wanzer trying to turn the corner. Rowe cut her off. Perry going the other direction. Dribbles it right into the grasp of James for the Lady Toppers.
I think she was going to spin and just kind of missed the dribble.
Rowe short with a transition three. Fantroy the rebound. Was looking to push, but no numbers.
That's Fantroy's 8th rebound here tonight.
Vance off the hesitation, drawing a double, finding Wanzer. It's the three!
Wanzer's been shooting it really, really well.
Kader, though, beats him down the floor and makes the layup, and Sarah Jenkins is not pleased. The Delaware head coach will call a timeout as Western Kentucky is up 8. What a performance from Salma Kader, the native of Egypt, from long range, has the Lady Toppers up 8.
This river wasn't dammed in a day, and GMC trucks.
Going is Delaware, down by as many as 9, back within 5 and trying to continue to whittle away, but an open triple. Telegne short, and the rebound to Wanzer.
The rebounding has just been off the charts for the Hens.
Fantroy trying to push, give Rowe credit, she cut off the ball. Cerisier looking to post up inside. Instead, the skip feed to Wanzer, who had it poked away from behind. Telegne to the floor. She's tied up, and the arrow gives it back to the Lady Toppers.
Yeah, kind of the poke around there from Tori James. Or actually, I think it was Schelling that was able to do that. Was able to poke around. And, you know, you don't want to rely on those things, but once in a while, if you get beat with that first step, you're able to poke it from behind.
And that's not a big surprise. Schelling is top 55 in the country, over 2.5 steals per game.
So I guess she knows how to read that a little bit.
Quick hands, that's for sure. Kader, who has shown off the full repertoire today, gives it to Rowe. 7 to shoot as they go inside the mismatch. Kader stepping through the lane to give herself the angle.
One thing I've been so impressed with Kader every time I watch her is just her footwork. She really has great footwork when she has the basketball.
And then the transition 3 off the mark from Perry. Rowe racing the other direction. Delaware back in transition. Oh, excellent cut, though, coming inside. James able to use the window, and the lead right back to 9 for Western Kentucky.
Just seems like every time Delaware is about to get over that hump, the Lady Toppers respond.
Cerisier trying to go to work inside through a double team. Got stonewalled. A good vision to kick it out to Correa. She gets it right back. Got it blocked, but a foul. And a trip to the line to shoot a pair for Andrea Cerisier.
You know what I really like about that for Cerisier? She didn't have it the first time, kicks it out, and immediately reestablishes and demands the basketball. Look at here. She's like, give me that basketball. I got back into position, and then she goes right at her defender.
So Telegne just picked up her 3rd. So she sits down and will be replaced by Jennifer Silva. Silva, 6'2", even bigger wingspan than that. Transfer in her first year at Western Kentucky. 3rd school, started at JUCO and then moved on to USF before finding a home with the Lady Toppers. 15 points for Andrea Cerisier, who's also closing in on 500 career rebounds. And gets Delaware back within 7.
Hens have been phenomenal from the free throw line, making every single shot, 12 for 12.
You know you jinxed that.
I know I did.
Rowe going to the basket, kicking it out. James driving, lefty scoop, hit the bottom of the rim. And here comes Delaware the other direction. 3 on 4. Correa doesn't seem to care. Drives to the baseline, got it blocked. There's the long arms of Silva.
They're giving up about a foot there, Correa.
Into the game and immediately making her presence felt. She averages better than a block per contest. And that one airmails Kader, the turnover, giving it back to Delaware.
And by the way, I didn't say anything when the Hens were at the line, so you really can't call it a jinx.
That's pretty fair. I thought they were trying to throw that ball to Danielle Parker-Gumps, who's working the game on radio today. She's still got those hands inside. The former Blue Hen played with Elena Deladon. Helped the Hens get to a Sweet 16 a little more than a decade ago.
Yeah, you talk about rebounds. There wasn't a rebound she wasn't getting.
Inside to Cherizier, double comes, kicks it out, Vance wide open and short with the three.
A little short, and then no weak side rebounding there.
And then nobody stopping ball. Shelling, though, missing the runner. James, the offensive board. And Kader showing good poise, the youngster. She doesn't look like a sophomore out there, does she?
No, she doesn't play like one.
How about the hands from Van Troy, deflecting it off the arms of Rowe, back to Delaware.
Hens are getting some opportunities. I know they'd like to get another basket or two before this quarter ends. And there you see again, yeah, that looked like the right call.
Mentioned Rowe coming back home. When she was at Southern Miss last year, she said after the games at home, her family couldn't make it to many who were so far away. And all the families would be there, and she'd have to go home and call them. And she said, this just isn't going to work. And that's why she called it a blessing to be able to be back in her home state where she can watch her brother play college football. Her younger brother plays last year high school basketball. As there's 4 left to shoot here for Delaware. Vance, the cross-court feed. Van Troy has to hoist, hits the rim, gets her own miss, and puts it back.
What else? What else, Leigh Van Troy? How else are you going to show us that you give the ultimate effort? Again, she follows her shot and knocks it down.
Third time she has done that in this game alone as Delaware back within 5.
Just got to love the effort. I mean, she plays so hard all the time.
Silva inside, drawing a double, gets it back, and able to finish with a left hand.
Yeah, late on the rotation there after the jump.
That was a bit too easy. If you're Sarah Jenkins and the Delaware coaching staff, it gives Silva credit. Not known for her offense, but able to convert that time. 4-second differential here. Shot and game clock. Wanzer doesn't care. And hits her fifth three of the game.
Ella Wanzer, it is looking good coming off those fingers here tonight. She is shooting with confidence.
17 for Wanzer. Western Kentucky holding for one. Rowe hit a buzzer beater earlier. The step back three. Trinity Rowe silencing the crowd up above. And reason to smile. Her heroics at the buzzer continue as she puts the Lady Toppers up by 7 after 3. What a show from Trinity Rowe. Against Middle Tennessee on Saturday, and then just one game on the road next weekend as they will visit Lynchburg, Virginia to take on Liberty.
Yeah, ending with their travel partner there, probably the only game they can go on a bus.
Absolutely. Still pretty long bus ride at that at 5.5 hours. A hold here against Jennifer Silva, who came in for the first time late in that third quarter, has made her presence felt right away. She's been pretty much in every stat category to this point.
Yeah, she's been doing a really good job in her rotation and just keeping her hands up and staying straight up.
Not sure how Van Troy was able to maintain possession, as on that inbound she kind of stumbled and fumbled but regained it. Vance, as a result, goes to the bucket for the and one.
I love what Trinity Vance did there, the way she used her body to protect the basketball and then hesitated just a little bit at the end to be able to draw that contact. I just love the way it came off her hand. She used the glass, but it's that change of speed a little bit and then using your body to protect the basketball.
So Vance with a big game when these teams first matched up a month ago, can't convert at the line, and Delaware's deficit stays at 5. Feels like every point critical now. They leave Kader wide open, but she can't make Delaware pay. And Wanzer, the hustle play, threw it away. Shelling is able to secure the loose ball for Western Kentucky.
That was just great anticipation by Shelling. I think Wanzer saw her teammate, and she was fortunate throwing it towards the opponent's basket.
Van Troy fighting through the screen, forces a feed over to James. Back to Rowe. They left her open, but she passes it up. Kader 10 to shoot. What a crossover, but Van Troy lingering, wouldn't let her get the shot off. They go inside, and Cherizier fouling Silva.
A little bit of disagreement there. One official had the jump ball, and the other official called the foul, and the official who called the foul wins. Here, let's take another look at it. You see Shaq straight up. I'm not so sure about that one.
I thought she got the forearm at first. That angle made it look awful close. She might have missed on that initial swing.
And the crowd letting the officials hear it a little bit. They had a great view towards it. You see right on those sideline seats there, they don't agree.
So back up to a 6-point lead for Western Kentucky. Make it 7 as Silva, only a 55% free throw shooter, buries a pair.
There have been a couple of critical calls here. I think back to the Fantroy travel that wasn't a travel, and then that call, and those are losing some points for the Hens.
Tresier going straight to the 10, drawing the foul, and now it's Silva's turn to show her frustration as she thought she was giving ground against Shaq.
You almost have to call that. Not that there's a makeup call, but here now we'll see the swing through. She sees the lane to the basket. Yeah, not much there either. So I think if Tresier can make these free throws, and I guess it cancels it out.
Shaq, who's had another big game, 16 points, as you mentioned earlier, perfect from the free throw line, and now 9 of 9 at the stripe. But you also said Delaware perfect at the free throw line, and that ended a moment ago.
Well, that's why you said it, because you were in the clear. Now you can't be the one to jinx it.
Tresier, 10 of 10, and Delaware won't go away. Down 5 at home. Western Kentucky with the basketball. Big one in Conference USA. On the drive, James missing, and Fantroy the rebound. 2-on-2 in the open floor. Wanzer looking to attack, and her pass out to Correa, tipped away, but Kyler retrieves it. Still 20 on the shot clock as Delaware resets. Fantroy got stuck. This has been off from the moment they got the ball across half court. Can they salvage it? Vance going baseline. Yes, she can! As Delaware within 3.
Trinity Vance starting to get to the rim. I think she's been attacking Silva a little bit and getting her ability to get around her with the finish.
Couture all of a sudden not looking for that three-point shot after she was so active with it early. Crowd as vocal as they've been. Silva again along the back line from Couture.
That's why a lot of things on their offensive end go through Silva, because she facilitates the basket. She makes really good decisions.
5-point Western Kentucky edge after Delaware had gotten back within a single score. Still 7.5 to go. Tresier posting up. Correa couldn't get it to her. 10 to shoot for Wanzer. Going baseline. Wrap around to Tresier. Missed in tight and out of bounds. Off of Shaq. Back to Western Kentucky.
It was a great look from Ella Wanzer, and I think there was a piece of that. Let's see here. A good pass. Yeah, definitely got a little bit of a piece of that, and maybe some body too.
That looked like more of a foul than the two they called earlier. In the high post, it's James kicking it out to Schelling. There's not much of a threat from there. Couture is not looking for his shot in the second half as much. James has shown that mid-range game, but missing that time, and Fantroy clearing another rebound.
My goodness, Fantroy, that's her 12th rebound. Another double-double.
Off the foot of Silva, but it bounces right to Wanzer. Again, Delaware early into these actions, so plenty of time on the clock. 13 still to shoot. Well, they had Wanzer wide open. Vance instead tried to do it herself. Got the miss, but then got stripped by Rowe.
A great offensive rebound. As she's going to put that in the floor. Everybody's hands are in a cookie jar.
Well, Wanzer, who has 5 threes, you could hear her calling for that basketball. You can always hear a different volume from Ella Wanzer when she's feeling it. And a different pitch, too. She goes a lot higher. 8 to shoot, 2 bodies come at Rowe. Entry feed on the left block to James. James spinning on Wanzer, in and out. Got her own miss and another putback. And Sarah Jenkins has seen enough, taking a timeout as this great
Lady Toppers with their top player on the bench with an injury to wind that shot clock all the way down, continue to move without the...
You're going to be very secure with the basketball here if you're Delaware.
And good to know, Couture looks like she's walking okay, so hopefully she just needed to walk that off and she's okay to be in that basketball game. You never want to see a kid go down. 1
foul to give for the Lady Toppers, 2 fouls to give for Delaware. So if they don't score, they have to foul right away. Vance at the center, wants to drive, some contact, and will go to the line.
You know, and if you're James, you're trying to play honest defense, and obviously you don't want to foul. You don't want to put Delaware in line. But in some ways, it might not be the worst thing because you will have over 20 seconds and the ability to advance the basketball because now you're forcing Trinity Vance to have to make these free throws.
It wasn't ideal, but agree, not the end of the world. If you are the Blue Hens, Vance, the only Hen that has missed a foul shot tonight, 0 of 1. Rest of the team, 14 of 14. And she misses the first. So now the weight of the world falls on the shoulders of Trinity Vance. Must make free throw to get this game tied.
The Bob Carpenter Center faithful trying to encourage her.
Of 2, and a foul against Van Troy. Only the third on the Blue Hens. Now, was it a timeout or a foul? Timeout first before the foul call. And another injury is this time a Lady Topper down, and again it's Tori James who's being helped up. It's the thumbs up to her teammates.
And just a tough go there for Trinity Vance, and Van Troy trying to get the basketball. They did not call the foul there. But the Hilltoppers, Lady Toppers getting the timeout. Now if you're Delaware, again, you have a couple of fouls to give here, so you have to foul very quickly if you don't get the steal.
Maybe over aggressive.
Very aggressive. Go for that ball, though. Go for the ball.
But you don't want 10, 12, 13 seconds coming off the clock here before you end up putting Western Kentucky on the line.
Some good leadership there by Leigh Fantroy, walking over with Trinity Vance, encouraging her. Next play. That's all you got to do. You can't control what just happened. You got to go get the next play.
Greg Collins' team looking for a third consecutive victory and a 4th overall this season in CUSA play. Try to come back from the proverbial grave. It looked like their season was dead and buried. Still a game out of the CUSA tournament, but surging in the right direction late. Rowe going to the basket. Shelling catches it. Delaware's got to come to the ball. Bleeding some clock here. Rowe with 12 seconds left. And finally the foul comes.
I have no idea why Delaware did not foul immediately. It looked like Trinity Vance, I'm not sure if she wasn't sure whether she was supposed to foul or if she was waiting for a double team.
It looked like they were trying to set up a trap that never came. So now, out of fouls to give. 12 seconds remaining. Each team with a timeout left. The inbound goes to Shelling, and that's who you want to put on the line if you're Delaware. Shelling just 60% for the line this season.
I think there's one more to give. That's the 4th team foul.
Beg your pardon. Delaware had 2 to give. Someday I'll learn math. Here's the inbound. It's to Shelling, and she slipped to a double team. Found James, and it'll be James going to the line with 8 and 3/10 seconds left.
The Lady Topper coaching staff trying to get them to call an intentional, but I mean, they didn't foul her quick enough. You can't anticipate that the official's going to make that call.
Well, instead of Shelling at 60%, it'll be James at 69%. Either way, it'll be a 1-possession game. First free throw. Ice water in her veins. See how much time is left. A timeout remaining for Delaware. Neither team with a foul again. Second one, no good. Cherizier secures the rebound. Delaware gets the timeout, and they can walk the length. 11th board of the contest for Shaq.
And that's huge because now Delaware does not have to draw something up for a 3. They can do a 3 or a 2. So I think, again, they're
to go. Late season basketball, penultimate weekend in Conference USA. Wants her to throw it in. Cherizier wants to drive, spinning to her left to the fadeaway. No! And the rebound with 1 second. Western Kentucky survives on the road, beating Delaware by 2. The Lady Toppers' 3rd consecutive win.
Both teams with opportunities at the end, and it just seemed like whichever team was going to get the last shot off was going to win this one. What an effort by the Lady Toppers to secure this victory. Delaware, great job rebounding. Ella Wanzer with an unbelievable night, but it was the Lady Toppers that came up with the big shots at the end of the game, knocked down free throws, and came out on top.